So Fino, please, ladies and gentlemen, this is class number 254. Fino Stallions, 7 years and older amateurs to ride. The gate has been closed. Honorable judges, this is your class.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we just went from the youngest riders in our breed, now moving into the more veteran stallions. Bet you thought I was going to talk about age of the riders, but I wasn't. This is 254 Classic Fino Stallions, 7 years and over, amateur to ride. We had a rule change last year. They no longer have to actually own the horse that they're riding, but they can lease them and ride them at leisure.
Hold, please, hold. So Fino, please. Reverse, please.
Unlike our other divisions where they actually call for a walk to give the horse a break, we use a halt in the Classic Fino section. This also plays into the 10% that is judged on manners. They should use that time to relax, allow the rider to relax a little bit, and then once called for the Classic Fino, they move right on up into the Classic Fino gate.
Hold, please, hold. So Fino, please. reverse, please, reverse.
It's great to see.
Beginning with 623, take the sounding board, please, both directions, and then proceed at the lineup, facing your ringmaster.
The judges are going through and checking headgear now, and then we'll be moving into a finalist round where after they make the cut, the exhibitors that get to stay and perform will be asked to do 2 figure eights in one direction, come across to either post in the front, and perform 1 additional figure eight in the other direction. Halt between the posts, back up, go to the sounding board in both directions, and then return to the lineup at the Classic Fino.
But before, ladies and gentlemen, any final procedure is taking place here, let's put our hands together and congratulate these riders and their beautiful Classic Fino Stallions. Great job, everybody. Once again, at this point in time in the 5-judge equitable judging system, majority rules. To make it to the finals, you must be on at least 3 out of the 5 judges' cards. Let me repeat that. You must be on 3 out of the 5 judges' cards to continue on in the competition. We wish you all the very best of luck. Buena suerte.
Attention exhibitors, the numbers that I will call will continue on the competition. Please take 1 step forward once your number is called. 383, 383, 434, 434, 434, 498, 498, 537, 537, 562, 562, 586, 586, and 623, 623. Those who were not mentioned, we appreciate and thank you for being here with us at Spectrum International 2019. Okay, so numbers that will remain being judged are 383, 434, 498, 537, 562, 586, and 623. Attention exhibitors, now you will proceed at the individual work-off, which consists of 2 figure eights in one direction, Then you come across to the other post and perform one additional figure 8 in the other direction. You hold in between the posts, and you back up your horse, go to the sounding board in both directions, and then you will return to the lineup at the classic Fino. Beginning with 383, proceed at the individual work-off.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed to the figure 8 poles, what the judges are looking for in this particular portion of the class, again, consistency of gait, consistency of forward motion and impulsion from the hind quarter. We want to see these horses to be able to turn left side, right side. That is the reason for 2 figure 8s in one direction, then a straight line, and return in the other direction with 1 more figure 8. 2 in one direction, finish with 1 more, then down the sounding board. Everything has to do with the evenly spaced 4-beat classic Fino gait. The reason for the back after the figure 8 is finished is to show discipline and manners.
Four 34, followed by 498, se prepara, 498. Four, 9, 8, followed by 537. Se prepara 537, 537. 537 followed by 562. Five, 562 followed by 586.
So again, for those of you that are at home watching the individual work-offs in this classic Fino Stallions class, 7 years of age and older, amateur to ride, you're getting to see the difference in the individual horses throughout their figure eights. They are performing 2 figure eights, a straight line across, and then changing directions and finishing with a final figure eight, a halt, and a back. Then they move to the sounding board and traverse the sounding board. The overhead view in the arena gives you a perfect example of where one horse struggles with one side or if they are absolutely perfect in diameter going around the figure eights. This entry has just finished his figure eight, halt, and back. And again, with the back, it is there to show mannerism, which is part of the 15%, oh, excuse me, the 10% for manners. Now he's going to traverse the sounding board in both directions.
586 followed by 623.
We started this class today with 13 entries. We've now gotten it down to the top 7, and this is all individuality work. This is so judges can compare each one of these 7 top individual riders and stallions. Again, that halt is used to show mannerism. It's also used as a breather for the horses in the Classic Fino division. Unlike the rest of our divisions, performance and pleasure and equitation and horsemanship, the horses are allowed to walk to give them a break. Here in Classic Fino, it's halting. After these 7 individuals are finished with their work-offs, should there be a tiebreaker round, that will entail that the horses go to the rail at the Classic Fino, do 4 reverses, and they can also do a side-by-side comparison, which is also known as a parallel in both directions of the arena. That's generally where it gets rocking and rolling in this arena and gets extremely exciting, because you're literally comparing 2 horses, their tracking, their speed, everything side by side. The figure 8s are basically used to demonstrate flexibility, responsiveness, and of course steadiness of gait, because gait is the #1 factor for our Classic Fino horses. Diminishing circles are definitely not allowed, and so you want them as close symmetrical as possible.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that the work-off portion is complete, at least for this session, for those of you viewing from around the other countries, we again welcome you aboard. We hope that you've appreciated all this expert camera work that's going on here from Ventana Paso, the Paso group. They are doing such a tremendous job. Triple screen up on the big screen, showing an aerial view of the horses doing the figure 8. Very, very evident of the horses that can turn and the horses that struggle with some of the turns. What great technology we have today to assist us and getting the placements right. When you see the camera work right now, you see the seriousness, not only on the face of the horses, but also on the riders. The anticipation, did I do it right? And if I did, how well did I do it right? Well, each and every rider in this group can be very proud to still be standing here in this arena. This was a tremendous quality group of horses and expertly ridden by these unbelievably talented amateur riders. Congratulations.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will proceed with some horse comparison. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to proceed with the work-off round in the comparison of this class. I will read as you will have to do so. Entries will be compared on the rail in both directions of the arena at the Classic Fino. Each horse will take the sounding board and then return over the sounding board the opposite direction. Perform a complete halt in the middle of the sounding board at the marker, then proceed at a Classic Fino to the lineup. Attention riders, the mark will be the box just right in the middle of the sounding board. The numbers I call, please move forward, and then you will proceed at the work-off. 434, 498, 537, 562. Let me read it once again. 434, 498, 537, 562.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in this particular work-off, what's going to happen, they're going to traverse the sounding board after they come off
Fino on the rail. Fino on the rail.
Fino on the rail.
Fino on the rail. Yeah. Reverse, please, reverse.
In this portion of the work-off, now these judges are in fact comparing horse to horse to horse. They want to see the agility, they want to see the evenness, the impulsion, the consistency of gait, the overall execution of the classic.
Reverse,
Fino.
please. Reverse.
That gate needs to be maintained during the reverse. Nothing changes but direction.
Beginning with 562. Sounding board, please. Hold.
Well, you might ask yourself, why that type of work-off in a Classic Fino division? Well, here's why. Number one, they were compared those 4 horses on the rail. It's much easier when you have them in a group to compare one horse to the other. Secondly, when they traverse the sounding board in one direction, again, verifying the Classic Fino gait. Then coming back on the second return, we ask the horses to halt. This is trifold in reasoning. Number one, it shows discipline. Secondly, it shows manners. Thirdly, and possibly the most important, it shows that the horse started out in gait when it moved forward. 3 reasons: manners, discipline, and starting out in the correct footfall. Left hind, left 4, right hind, right 4. That is what the judges were just comparing. That is what they will use for their placements. And that is the reason you should give every one of these riders a very nice, loud round of applause for doing such a great job here at Spectrum 2019 in beautiful Miami, Florida. For those of you in Puerto Rico, Colombia, Curacao, Aruba, and the Dominican Republic, and every other country that is viewing us here today, we welcome you here to the United States. Miami, Florida, welcome aboard. let's keep in mind also that once horses are selected for a work-off, by our protocol, by our rules, they must be placed consecutive in that work-off. Now, the only provision for that to not be placed is if the horses were in a situation to be unsafe or unruly. Those horses would be disqualified or excused, and they would move another horse into position. But in this particular case, we didn't have any of that situation, so they will be placed consecutively as the judges see fit.
What you folks are watching at home, we talked about a little bit earlier that the camera work from La Ventana is absolutely amazing. So you're getting to see the clarity and the smiles. We call that the Paso smile, even though that's the ribbon girls right now.
We now
And
have official results to Class 254. Fino Stallions, 7 years and older, amateurs to ride. The honorable mention goes to 623 Gaspacho de Alegría, owned by Lisandro Martinez, presented by Lisandro Martinez. The sixth place is being granted to 383 Prodigio del Limón, owned by Hacienda Villasar in Miami, Florida, presented by Catherine Leon. Fifth place goes to entry 586, Merlot de Lomita Nueva, owned by Olga Gianon in Miami, Florida, presented by Olga Gianon. Fourth place, granted to 434 Evangelio de Victoria, owned by Katrina Haley in Ocala, Florida, presented by Alberto Estrada. Third place, ladies and gentlemen, goes to 498 Sirope de la Yaya, owned by Manuel Sanchez in Miami, Florida, presented by Diandra Blanco. The second place red ribbon is being granted to entry 5. 37537 Tibetano de la Pradera, owned by Mónica Méndez, presented by Mónica Méndez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the first place, the blue ribbon, is being granted to entry 562 Apocalipto de Paso Hondo, owned by Jorge Izquierdo in Summerfield, Florida, presented by Jorge Izquierdo.
So how did you do judging at home? Did you get it right? Did you judge along with our judges? We'll see how that goes. Congratulations to the winner of our Classic Fino Stallion 7 and over, an amateur to ride. We're preparing for Class 255, which is our Classic Fino Junior Youth 13 through 17. These are our older age brackets, and I know they look forward to the competition just as much as any adult ever has. Stay tuned.